Thank you for joining us on Newsline for Monday, September the 29th of 2014. I'm Tra Chirakosan. And welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward, broadcasting live on NBT. In today's top story, the Thai government has made a donation to Gaza of $100,000 for humane assistance. Taking a look now at today's headlines, His Majesty the King has granted a royal command to appoint more members of the National Legislative Assembly. 28 people, including a number of senior armed forces officers, have been royally endorsed to sit in the NLA, increasing the total number of the council from 220 from 192. The royal command has been granted after 8 NLA members have resigned from the council to take up ministerial posts in the government of Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha. Along with 8 new members to fill up vacancies, 20 additional members have been appointed to make the council a 220-member body as stipulated in the 2014 Provisional Constitution. Half of the newly appointed NLA members are senior armed forces officers, including former Assistant Army Chief General Yuttasin Doi Chun Ngam and former 4th Army Region Commander General Udomchai Thama Sarorat. Others who have also joined the NLA and do not come from any armed forces background are former rector of King Mongkut's Institute of Technology, Lat Krabang, Kun Koson Petsuwan, former 2006 NLA member Kun Pricha Bua Wirat Lerth, and Secretary General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Kun Warapon Sokhati Yanurak. All of them are to report themselves to the Secretariat of the NLA from September 29th until October 1st. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has affirmed that the selection of National Reform Council is fair and without any predetermined members. During his visit to the 4th Army Region base in Nakhon Si Thammarat for his retirement ceremony, General Prayut denied criticism about the establishment of the NRC and said there has been no predetermination of who will sit in the 250-member council. General Prayut said that according to the interim constitution, the NRC formation must be completed by October 2nd. In addition, the Premier is not concerned about a move to petition the Administrative Court for the delay of the finalization of the NRC establishment. When asked about the appointment of additional members of the National Legislative Assembly, General Prayut said that more members are needed to help review many pending laws. Prime Minister and Chief of National Council for Peace and Order, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, has urged the media to refrain from presenting news that may incite conflict among Thais and to focus on transparency in government projects. The comment came during Friday's TV weekly program Returning Happiness to the People, during which General Prayut underlined his government's unifying administering methods. He explained that of all the projects being proposed by the governmental units must closely follow the government's policies. For example, appointments of high-ranking government officials must be approved by the cabinet and must be made public. The Prime Minister also urged the media to be careful when presenting sensitive news or his remarks. He said that the latter have often been misinterpreted and picked up by the foreign press, further creating a misunderstanding about the kingdom in the eyes of the international community. General Prayut also asked the local media to instill the 12 Thailand qualities in their operations, considering that the move would benefit the members of the public and the nation as a whole. The Deputy Prime Minister has made a donation to Gaza of $100,000 for humane assistance. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, General Thanasak Patimaprakon, met with the Commissioner General of the United Nations Relief Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees while making a donation to support the Gaza Flash Appeal 2014 of $100,000. In the process, General Thanasak also insisted on the importance of humane assistance and willingness to support initiatives to resolve the conflict in the Middle East peacefully and to cooperate with the United Nations organization in finding solutions. The UNRWA is the main institute of the United Nations organization supporting the human rights of Palestinian refugees in Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, the West Bank, and Gaza, which Thailand has been supporting since 1978. Thailand had increased its donation from 30,000 to 40,000 this year, but the violent situation in Gaza in September of 2014 made Thailand realize the importance of emergency support, leading to a further $100,000 this year. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister General Thanasak Patimaprakon has had a meeting with Steve and Christopher Forbes from Forbes magazine while attending the 69th UN General Assembly in New York. Steve Forbes, who serves as the chairman of Forbes Media, reportedly has confidence that Thailand will have a rosy outlook for the future and that the political situation will eventually be returned to normal. Forbes Media will also host the Forbes Asia's Best Under $1 Billion Awards ceremony and dinner 2014 in Thailand to award the 200 most dominant economic figures in the Asia-Pacific region. 9 companies from Thailand are also nominated this year. It is hoped that the event may display the current situation in Thailand is stable and is welcoming for foreign investment and investors. The Transport Ministry is mulling a plan to raise taxi fares, and its decision may be reached around the beginning of October. Transport Minister Air Chief Marshal Prachin Chantong said that the ministry has agreed to consider a request from operators of taxi services to raise fares if the Energy Ministry decides to increase the prices of the liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, and natural gas vehicle, or NGV, for the transport purpose in October. Air Chief Marshal Prachin said that the Transport Ministry has already looked into 2 key factors, which are the cost of living of passengers, taxi drivers and service operators, and the energy expenses. He added that after reviewing both factors, it seems likely that taxi fares will rise, although it remains to be decided how much the raise will be. The probable rises will depend on the details of the energy cost structure from the Energy Ministry. In concerns to the increase in Bangkok's underground train fares, the Transport Minister said he has sent officials to discuss with Bangkok Metro Public Company Limited, who operates the MRT system. MRT fares are originally scheduled to go up by 1 to 2 baht per stop on October 2nd, but the discussion with Bangkok Metro reached an agreement that the raise will be postponed until December 31st of 2014. The Bank of Thailand, or BOT, has maintained its projection of Thailand's gross domestic product, or GDP, growth at 1.5%, but adjusted down the projection for next year's to 4.8% from the previous 5.5%. According to BOT's Monetary Policy Affairs Director, Meti Supapong, factors contributing to the slower GDP growth for 2015 include the lower-than-expected export growth and economic sluggishness in the kingdom's trading partners. The National Bank predicted that the export sector would grow by 4%, down from 6% predicted earlier, adding that public spending and private investment would expand 4% and 10.2% respectively. The BOT viewed that the government spending would also expand thanks to its various projects. The move would in turn restore the economy back to its balance. The annual Vegetarian Festival is now in full swing across Thailand. On the 4th day of the first Vegetarian Festival of this year, the famous resort island of Phuket has been celebrating the centuries-long tradition with a parade of images and mediums of gods throughout the city center, with members of the public and tourists gathered along the route, joining the vibrant spirit of the festival. As parts of the ceremony, god mediums will be performing firewalking, body piercing, and other acts of self-mortification as well. In southern Satun, Chinese have joined in similar ceremonies in which the hot oil bathing ritual will be performed under the oil used in the rite will be shared among onlookers, including locals and tourists, due to the belief of its auspicious effect to cure health problems. Meanwhile, in central Uthai Thani province, locals, especially those with Chinese ethnic backgrounds, have actively participated in the annual festival through mass prayer for Phra Bodhisat and for their majesties, the king and the queen. The recent acceleration in industrial expansion has created the emergence of many new factories in the area. So far in 2014, a total of 68 factories have been established in Ayutthaya with an investment of billions of baht and bringing employment to 2,000 personnel. The province is preparing to set up an employment center for the vacancies. An industrial officer, Mr. Surasak Chalerm Kiet Tawi, reported that there are 2,389 industrial facilities operating in the province with a total of 400,000 billion baht liquidity in the system. Banwa Industrial Estate is the most extensive among the 5 industrial estates in Ayutthaya province. However, the 5 estates have together continuously drawn investment to the country. The Public Relations Department, or PRD, has organized its annual retirement ceremony to celebrate and appreciate the contribution of retired officials. A seminar was held during the retirement ceremony before handing out certificates of commendation to all 55 retired officials. The Director General of the Public Relations Department, Mr. Apinan Jantarangsi, and other high-ranking officials convened a meeting with public relations staff and presided over a seminar on bringing new vision into play. The objective of the seminar was to enhance the credibility of the PRD's work in a bid to build the trust of the people in all matters concerning the distribution of public information.
กรมประชาสัมพันธ์ครับตั้งขึ้นโดยมีหลักการสำคัญก็คือเป็นหน่วยงานของรัฐที่จะนำข้อมูลข่าวสารของราชการไปสู่ประชาชนและนำความคิดเห็นของประชาชนมาสู่ราชการนะครับเป็นศูนย์กลางของการแลกเปลี่ยนข้อมูลข่าวสารกันเราได้มีการกำหนดวิสัยทัศน์ของกรมประชาสัมพันธ์ไว้ว่ากรมประชาสัมพันธ์เป็นองค์การที่ได้รับความเชื่อถือด้านข่าวสารเพื่อพัฒนาคุณภาพชีวิตของประชาชนและสร้างภาพลักษณ์ที่ดีของประเทศนะครับอันนี้ในวิสัยทัศน์ทั้ง3ด้านนี้นะครับก็เป็นการบ่งบอกถึงทิศทางการทำงานเป็นสิ่งที่จะบอกว่าเราจะต้องทำอะไรบ้างอย่างไรนะครับในเรื่องแรกก็คือการเป็นองค์การที่ได้รับความเชื่อถือด้านข่าวสารนั้นหมายถึงว่ากรมประชาสัมพันธ์จะต้องเป็นศูนย์ข้อมูลข่าวสารที่เผยแพร่ไปที่มีความน่าเชื่อถือถูกต้องตรงและทันเวลานะครับผมอยากจะบอกว่าหากมีประเด็นอะไรที่เป็นข้อราชการหรือปัญหาของบ้านเมืองที่ผู้คนสงสัยก็ให้เปิดไปที่ NBT ไม่ว่าจะเป็นวิทยุและโทรทัศน์นั่นคือคำตอบที่ถูกต้องนั่นคือเป้าหมายสำคัญในเรื่องแรกในการที่เป็นศูนย์ของข้อมูลข่าวสารที่น่าเชื่อถือและหากข้อมูลข่าวสารที่ออกไปนั้นมีความน่าเชื่อถือถูกต้องชัดเจนตรงเวลาก็จะเป็นประโยชน์ต่อประชาชนนั้นหมายถึงทุกภาคส่วนครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นราชการภูมิภาคท้องถิ่นหรือภาคเอกชนหรือประชาชนก็ตาม
The Public Relations Department, or PRD, is a center that aims to exchange reliable, accurate, and up-to-date information which will benefit both local people and society. The certificate of commendation was handed out to 35 government officials and another 20 permanent employees in recognition of their years of dedication. In today's segment of Now or Never, Dr. Yongyut Mayalap, a civilian spokesperson of the National Council for Peace and Order, will talk about the work of Damrong Tham centers. Let's have a look.
Swadee krab. Welcome to Now or Never, the program that updates you on the achievements of the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, and the work progress of the government. Regarding the recent work of the Damrong Tham Centers and the Peace and Order Maintaining Command, our services to the people have succeeded with concrete results in many areas, including the gathering of information on problems, the needs of the people, receiving complaints, solving problems, reducing bureaucracy, giving information, and so on. Examples include farmers in Bamplama district who had not received 70 million baht that was owed for their rice. The private sector was invited to find a solution to this problem. The end result was that the farmers received their payment. Then there was the case of the people of Nong Sarai sub-district in Don Chedi district, Suphanburi province. Their problem was that they had insufficient electricity, so the Electricity Authority of Don Chedi district was contacted. The end result was the Electricity Authority allocating a budget to expand the electricity grid in that area. It is estimated that the work will be completed by the end of this September. Then there were disputes over irrigation water for agriculture in Hue Chai sub-district in Buri district, stemming from the untimely opening and closing of water gates. The end result was that state agencies intervened as mediators and assigned an equitable share of water for everyone. The people were satisfied. Then there was the case of the construction of the Lungpo Uttamas Bridge, or the Mon Bridge, in Sangkhlaburi district, Kanchanaburi province, which has faced numerous delays. The end result was that the civil servants and people, including engineering army, have joined together to solve the problems. It is estimated that the work will be complete by the end of this September too. The Damrong Tham Centers are regarded as a facilitation service for the people. There is no need for them to walk in to file complaints at the government house or any other government agency. The Prime Minister is aware that in some districts and provinces, the private sector has kindly arranged for office space for the Damrong Tham Centers. He wishes to thank them all here. If possible, it would be best for the Damrong Tham Centers or other centers that provide services to the public to be located in places that are easily accessible to ordinary people. Swadee krab.
And that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Before we take a quick break, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Open the world of information. Embrace public participation. Present Thailand to the world. New dimension of the government's public relations. The 81st anniversary of Public Relations Department. Creative media for society and mobilizing Thailand towards the ASEAN community.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. 31 people were presumed dead yesterday near the peak of a Japanese volcano that erupted a day earlier, catching unaware hikers as it belched out clouds of rock and ash. The deaths on Mount Otake, 200 kilometers west of Tokyo, were the first from a Japanese volcanic eruption since 1991. Police said the 31 were found in cardiopulmonary arrest, but declined to confirm their deaths pending a formal examination, as per Japanese custom. Public broadcaster NHK and the Kyoto News Agency later reported that 4 all-male had been confirmed dead. An official in the area said rescue efforts have been called off due to rising levels of toxic gas near the peak, as well as approaching nightfall. Hundreds of people, including children, were stranded on the mountain, a popular hiking site, after it erupted without warning on Saturday, sending ash pouring down the slopes for more than 3 kilometers long. Liberia's chief medical officer, who is also a deputy health minister, has put herself in quarantine as a precaution against Ebola after one of her assistants died from the disease. Bernice Don is the latest senior West African medical official to be directly affected by an outbreak of Ebola, which has killed over 3,000 people as it spreads across most of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Isaac Jackson, Liberia's Deputy Information Minister, said the doctor has placed herself under self-observation due to the fact that her special assistant contracted the virus. Minister Jackson said the government praised Dawn's decision to come forward to be monitored after potentially coming into contact with the disease. The latest figures from the World Health Organization shows that the death toll from the worst outbreak of Ebola on record has killed at least 3,091 people out of 6,574 probable, suspected, and confirmed cases. The Thai national football team have defeated Jordan 2-0 to book a place in the semi-final round of the 17th Asian Games in Incheon, South Korea. At the start of the whistle, Jordan came out really strong, attacking Thailand from left to right. However, Thailand defended well and were able to gain footing after 5 minutes into the game. Thai team's passing game looked more comfortable than Jordan and were able to put the ball in the back of the net when Chanatip Songkrasin fired an easy shot from the edge of the penalty area in the 37th minute. Thailand were able to extend the lead to 2-0 when Krekrit Tawikan fired home in the 70th minute after the Jordanian defense had desperately kept 2 earlier attempts out of the net. Thailand will play Korea Republic in semifinals tomorrow on September 30th, and staying in Incheon, Thailand clinched 3 more gold medals at the Asian Games, 2 coming from sepak takraw and 1 from golf. As a result, Thailand now has 4 gold medals, 2 silver and 13 bronze. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just simply type in NNT or check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/newsinc. We're going to say goodbye with footage of Chiang Mai Zoo celebrating Panda Lin Hui's 13th birthday. I'm Thra Thirakosan. Have a wonderful day. Sawasdee ka.